Hey there, how are you doing right now during this weird time? And everyone's forced to stay at home and all that because of what's going on right now. You know what? Do you want to do something? Want to play games maybe or something of the sort? You tired of installing games that are so many gigs and not running properly? You tired of lagging in your online games because of the shit net coding? Are you tired of BS hitboxes? Are you tired of the same or generic modern or somewhat dry futuristic weapons? So if you want to do something and you have some time on your hands right now, there's this game called Unreal Tournament. This game is like super old. Yeah, it's super old. Yeah, it's like 21 years old now at this point. It's the 1999 version of Unreal Tournament, the first one. I've been playing this game since I was a little kid, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have been playing it, but I think that's how it goes with a lot of kids or boys. But anyways, that kind of wasn't my first FPS. Doom 2 Hell on Earth was my first one, but it was my first FPS Unreal Tournament. Like, I got to play on my own computer whenever I wanted to and everything. But the game is really, really amazing. It's got this adrenaline rush that other games really can't mimic anymore nowadays. The controls are really, really polished. I would say the hitboxes are really nicely done too, except maybe the sniper, but I think that's kind of like on purpose with how it works. The maps are really well designed, and the main thing is also the bots. The bots are really, really well designed. They kind of do feel like a bit human, or like they don't feel fully like bots or whatever, or really at all. Well, you decide for yourself. You can set this game on like 8 different difficulties, from like all the way from novice to godlike difficulty. 8 different difficulties, and godlike is just pretty freaking insane. Just try it for yourself and tell me if you could do that. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure you'll always be able to be challenged in this game with those difficulties. The action-packed, good balanced gameplay forces you to run around, no camping. Also, its aesthetic style is so amazing in this game. It's so sick. It seems like a really cool futuristic style where it's like cyberpunkish, but really raw and kind of like solid. I don't know how to fully explain it, but it feels really unique apart from other games. The music is also just so good, so good. The people who made the music worked on also Deus Ex and the first Unreal, and maybe some other games, but I've played all these games and the music is just fantastic. It really speaks to the worlds they were trying to build, and it's kind of something like just to compare to the same level of passionate creative people working on the new Doom's music. Well, Mick Gordon. There's so many tracks scattered through all the levels, and the diversity of the guns, the attitude of the boss talking trash to you, it all comes together in this package that feels like, well, I best I can compare Unreal Tournament as maybe like, it's kind of like the same passion, effort, where put into an arena bot shooter, like a multiplayer deathmatch experience, as kind of like Rockstar did back in the day for Red Dead Redemption 1. It's like, obviously that didn't come out at the same times, but people I think understand that there's some kind of like magic both those games or whatever. When I was a kid, there wasn't any easy way to figure out how to make maps and an easy place to find out how to make maps. Well, like YouTube wasn't around when UT99 was out, obviously, and I was too little with too many other distractions, even going through the years of the early 2000s to be able to figure this stuff out. But because it is really kind of like a little bit tricky, but once you figure it out, it's really, really simple actually. And the tutorials that do exist from like maybe 2007, 2008, they're just not too like amazing because I feel like the people took it a bit too fast and they didn't know how people on the internet like need to be much more slowly paced and much more handheld and everything. But yeah, they're not too enticing to watch now, especially with like graphics and everything. But I've played so many FPSs since like 1998 until 2018. I still play games, but just not as much as I used to in that big amount, like all the time. But yeah, I still play them. Then the decent ones that come out, the good ones, I should say. There's definitely good gems in the rough. I think though that I've really grown up, maybe, and I kind of dare say, the golden age of FPS. My first ever game being Doom 2, like I already said, then UT 2003, 2004, 2007, all the Halos, Bioshocks. I played Quake 1 and like 4. I've seen like obviously 2 and 3, but didn't play them that much. Played all the Call of Duties, played so many FPS RPGs like Fallout 3, New Vegas, 4, played Masquerade Bloodlines, and just like others that I can't really name off the top of my head right now. But they're, even though they're not really skilled shooters, the RPG ones, you still need to have a degree to know where you are and how to take cover at proper times. Take into account when to reload and strategy, how to approach maybe a certain situation because of the damage and the timings of how fast you die and all that. So there's definitely still a skill involved with FPS RPGs, even third-person games. You're obviously shooting and you have soldier tactics and being able to aim with your controller obviously as best as you can is a skill that can in itself win you basically almost any match if you're really good at aiming like a aimbot. Anyways, what I'm trying to say here though is that basically people born from like maybe 1990 till 2008, but maybe probably even higher and lower for sure, have grown up with shooting games, you know, and actually have been playing them from a little age. And we're playing games that were created by like the first creators of the FPS genre. So we basically have an understanding of its fundamentals and its basics from its origins and its inception. From this I mean that those maps and levels that people made from that time were like the first interpretation of how these games could be played, and the maps kind of reflected that. No offense though, there are some truly fantastic maps that I still love playing to this day, in which there's actually a really great amount of, to be honest. I feel also because they were trying to always show off their tech, some level design took longer or was maybe a bit less creative than it can be for gameplay purposes, because they have to appease the graphics style and the sense of the worlds they were making. But now, well, I made maps for half a year in 2017 into 2018 but stopped, and now well in 2020 we can make maps that have basically a more trained and experienced, like heightened sense of what an FPS level design could be from playing from a young age, this golden age of FPS, and getting trained our brains with it, you know, like almost being bred for this stuff. I feel like we can really make some really cool and different maps for a game like Unreal Tournament now in 2020. Obviously the industry has been plagued, especially for the past years, with BS like microtransactions and loot boxes, making playing literally almost any online FPS games stuck with a virtual store of some kind. You have to pay for like any new maps that come out, in which there may only be one or decent good map to play in, or they will all be shit. They are even trying to implement systems in which when you die in a game, there'll be a pop-up to sell you a good, better weapon with real money, so you can finally pwn those guys who killed you. Funny is too, the system also would even pair you up to players who are not the usual level it pairs you up with, but lowers the level when you buy the microtransaction pop-up. So when you use your new purchased beast weapon to mow down noobs in amazing awe with how now you paid for this microtransaction, you are now freaking badass. Crazy stuff. Valorant or whatever is just Counter-Strike with a little Overwatch power in there with character-based system. Even Quake is now with champions. I don't know, there's something about the plain template that you get the original Halos and Unreal Tournament that really makes people, I guess, actually get the items on the map that were in their thought out, well placed and balanced locations with the proper amount scattered through the level, so they can actually act and do the role they want to play. Not just like, oh well, everyone wants to be a sniper, or so oh this is like a majority sniper team now, or like infantry or something, or you know what I mean, kind of like everybody just kind of does whatever they want. Even in games where you can't pick the same character, there are others which are basically usually similar. And let's be truly honest here, some of these character-based games have just so many characters and they keep adding more and more. It's just retarded to think that this shit is just all balanced. And I don't know if people understand this concept or not, but whenever either a character or a nerf or a buff happens, especially because again the large amount of never-ending characters, you have to relearn the whole game basically, or re-strategize at least. Or if you don't play for like a month or two and you come back, stuff is going to be really different. It's almost like another job, I swear, to like keep up with these huge changes that constantly happen in all these character-based games. Anyway, back to Unreal Tournament. And just some more quick backstory for those who don't know. Unreal Tournament was actually supposed to be a bot pack expansion for Unreal. Single player experience of this universe with the same weapons basically as UT. Well, UT same weapons as Unreal. Once they saw how cool and big it can be though during development, they decided to make it a whole game. And after that, a lot of companies started using the Unreal Engine to make their own games. And I'm pretty sure for every Unreal Engine since then, Unreal Tournament has been the game to show off them all. UE2 was UT 2003, 2004, and UT 2007 was UE3 or Unreal SDK or whatever it was called. And I wish, to be honest, 2007 Unreal Tournament 3 was just trying to ride off the kind of aesthetic of Gears of War, which there was like a really weird feeling about that. I personally like Gears, played for first 3 multiple times, but I feel it was the reason no one bought UT3 because it looked like some copycat game of Gears and rejected it right off the bat. Maybe they thought people would buy UT3 because it looked like Gears, but I'm sure it was like the opposite way around. Even the main character in UT3 looked like Marcus Phoenix to a large degree and just had some weird scar on his face. And they freaking made Malcolm a bad guy. A total guy you become to hate, especially at the end of the game, who was like the poster boy for the games before, and probably actually the character model most people chose to play as in UT normally. And it was a weird game indeed. If UT3 had its own style, just like it did before, it would have actually probably have been one of the best so far, even if they chose Malcolm to be a bad guy, because the graphics would have been really amazing. Unreal Tournament 3 still right now, in 2020, all maxed on the computer, looks really fantastic. The fourth Unreal Tournament seemed to kind of try to go into that direction, because the finished levels really looked gorgeous even in pre-alpha 2016. It started getting made in 2014 I think though, and it was a very community involved project. I made maps for UT4. I made actually like 12 in total. 2 remakes, the rest were originals. The first remake was The Place of Two Deaths from Quake 1, and for the other one it was Narrows from Halo 3. I think I'll actually maybe remake those in the editor now though, and show them in other videos. I think I might start doing that, remaking famous maps from popular online games in UT99. I think it'll be pretty interesting. I also remade one of my originals from UT4 now, into UT99, and wow, it plays so much better and is so much more fun than the UT4 version. The graphics also make it look better for simple geometric maps, and the lighting has a much nicer charm to it. There are actually a crazy amount of textures in the game and options to customize your level truly how you want easily. Now all because of an amazing community and their mods, you can really get high-res textures for your game, so you can make it look pretty HD. You can, if you have a crazy graphics card, you can enable RTX even, and some other reshader stuff. At this point, there's even a really nice DirectX 11 support. Yes, it has DirectX 11 for a 21-year-old game. And it actually runs really great, the DirectX 11. And then as Unreal Tournament 4 was being developed, a new game type was creeping in. Epic Games had stopped working on Unreal Tournament fully because there was this popular game called PUBG, and this Battle Royale fad started in gaming where everyone wants to feel like Rambo, or honestly like a true camper, to be honest, waiting for the perfect time to strike while having waited literally like 5 to 15 minutes to actually engage someone in freaking combat. Yeah, I don't really like battle royales, and I thought it was just like a whatever type of thing back in the day. And then one day a zombie survival cartoon game that Epic was making, Fortnite, which was actually supposed to not be a cartoon at the beginning, but kind of like more gruesome. You should look into that. It's actually, I think, true. But yeah. And then they added a Battle Royale mode to this game, and overnight, I saw how the whole world started going nuts over it. If they finished Unreal Tournament 4, it would have been awesome, because they would have had really polished it up, and the AI and the editor, and well, everything. Epic was saying it was going to be in the spirit of UT99, so its art style would have probably reflected that, and at small hints there, it did seem like it, from the concept art stuff. It's weird because they couldn't even have like a couple people just help maybe the game put together. Since I heard from other videos from the community, it was making so much content themselves, like the community, and they could have finished the game maybe. They just needed someone at Epic Games on their side to tie it together. But it makes sense, they would probably go and get paid much more to work on Fortnite, to be honest. It is really a shame. UT4 seems to be on a true back burner for whenever, if ever, Fortnite gets milked dry. It is still available on the new Unreal Tournament website and on the Epic Store or launcher or whatever. It's free. Go try it now. Anyways, I think you can, I don't know for sure, but I haven't played in a while because, you download this internet thing and host with people. But yeah, a lot of people there are like super passionate about the game, so they're really good. I have played it though, and I have won a few matches and came in first, but it's really hard. It really challenges you with UT knowledge, but you can really slide around now and run on walls now, so there's like a new kind of learning curve to UT4, even for new players especially too, well, everybody. Back to UT99. The engine, or this editor that it comes with, is really easy to use. It loads so quick. You can really do your edits really quick. Everything is really fast. Well, basically it's just instant. Everything mostly is drop in and drag and drop, all that stuff, you know. But you just gotta know where to click and what not to press on your keyboard or something like that, so certain options don't get clicked or something. The game is like 700 megabytes with the editor included, all in one install, and it should run on literally any computer nowadays at infinite frames. Games nowadays are literally over 100 gigs, like I heard COD Warzone is. That's just insane. You're gonna have like 5 games in your console. 1899 here, since it runs like so good now on anyone's computer, you can play it with basically anybody, and you can make your favorite maps from your favorite online games that are not around anymore, and play with a huge selection of bot difficulty with really amazing bots still to this day, way better than many games AI today. Well, that's like a weird long explanation, but what's really cool about what I want to show people is how you can actually make your own maps in the editor. So I'm going to try to make an actual level so you can just follow along, so you can then just do the same thing but change your geometry, and basically you have a new map. Easy.